The countdown to the third annual PGR SummerSlam 499 ticks down to the final 3 days until the summer's marquee sim race, and we make one final scheduled stop on the PGR circuit before we come to you this weekend with the biggest sim racing event of the summertime, the PGR SummerSlam 499. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Race Week the SummerSlam 499 here on PGR eSports. Tonight, though, before we get to all of that, there is still business to be attended to. Tonight, the final recruitment race for the biggest sim racing event of the summer takes place from iRacing's virtual Talladega Super Speedway. I want to say good evening and welcome in to the virtual Talladega Super Speedway. My name is Dawson Wise, going to be taking you through all of the action throughout tonight's race as we get set for one more opportunity for some guys to win entry into the SummerSlam 499 and others to gain their momentum, to set themselves up for success, to get the mindset right before they race in a heat race this weekend. Tonight, I'm going to try to get all the information out that I can about this weekend. You don't know the schedule for the weekend? Don't worry, I'll have that for you. The broadcasting information, we'll have that for you as well. How the broadcast links are going to work, the broadcasting team, kind of how that is going to work as well. We'll have the format for the event coming up later on tonight. We'll have the payouts for the event, the prize pool specifically, that first place prize with the championship belt. We'll talk about any storylines on the entry list already, and I'll tell you right now, there's a lot of them as of tonight. A sneak peek, last year's champion Malik Ray has entered the SummerSlam 499 looking to go back-to-back and win 2 belts here in this event. So we'll talk about some of those storylines as well throughout the night. I want to make tonight an information hub for the SummerSlam 499. Everything you'll need to know about the event come Thursday night when we start heat racing. But again, business to be attended to, so let's get down trackside and get right to it. Qualifying is over with. It'll be the same format tonight as we are used to on Monday nights. We'll have 2 heat races. We'll then go into a 30-lap feature. The heat's 15 laps apiece. We'll take 15 out of each. It is a full session tonight, 62 on track, which means we will take full 30 into the feature race here tonight. But let's get down trackside. Let's get down trackside and get into the starting grid for heat race number 1. On the pole for this first of 2 heat races in the final recruitment race for the SummerSlam 499 is going to be a man that knows this track very well, knows PGR Victory Lane very well. Also, it's a former Podium 500 champion, a multi-time PGR winner. Looking for the crown jewel this weekend, it's Kyler Wynn, the Canadian driver in the 84 machine. He'll start from pole position, a 52.156 second lap. To his outside, it is one of the several Jack Shack entries that you'll see here tonight. It's David Flanagan in the 36 machine, 31 on the side of the car, 36 on your timing and scoring. Row 2, Sean Corbett in the 45, a fresh look for him going into this weekend. He'll start from 3rd. It'll be Landon Velicky in the 62 that rolls from position number 4. Row 3, it's going to be Nash Brambilla for Team PGR, the familiar purple and yellow colors aboard that 23. To his outside, welcome back to PGR. A return tonight for Josh Jambroni. Listed in the 14. A different number is on that car. I can't tell if it's the 12 that's on the side of that car. There is a bit of a different number on that car. We'll get to that later. Row 4, Chase Mastretta in the number 18 machine. The Budweiser Chevrolet will line up alongside Josh McCullough from McCullough Motorsports. On row 5, it'll be Adam Young, also for the Jack Shack in the 21. It'll be Danny Barnes in the 49, lining up in position number 10. Back in row number 6, Rusty Plant in the 35 will make up 11th position. His outside will be Jason Branch in the 28. Row 7, Matt Frady returns to PGR tonight in the 40. He'll line up alongside Jackson Byes in the 22. Row 8, another welcome back to PGR. It's Larry McDonald in the 80 machine. He'll line up 15th with Axel Smith to his outside in 16. Row 9, it'll be Brian Hennings on the inside in 17th and 74 for Team PGR, and McCullough Motorsports driver Mark Vondell in the 18th position. Row 10 going to be Mike Davenport for Team PGR, Michael Wingo in the 51 for Dega Pros. Row 11 going to be Frank Chavez in the 57 and Bruce Bernard in the 17. Row 12 going to be Mason Flieger in the 72 and Jack Mummert in the 77, looking to make a run into the 3rd annual PGR SummerSlam 499. Started the 2nd one back in August of 2024. Row 13, Buster Malcolm in the 102, Matt Huffman in the 31. One of the new drivers in the field tonight. He'll roll from 26th. Row 14, Tim Bretz in the 41. Another new driver is outside. The defending PGR 500 winner, defending PGR champion, Daniel Falkingham in the 39. He'll go from 28th. Row 15, Todd Mays returns to PGR tonight in the 54. He'll go 29th. Logan Bearden listed in the 30th position. Not sure if he made the grid or not. Does not look like he or Todd Mays did, and neither did Nate Blasdell in 31st. So 28 total cars made the grid for this first heat. We'll take 15 of them into the feature race at the end of it. Kyler Wynn will start on pole position for this, the final scheduled recruitment race. There may be one more coming up later on in the week, tomorrow night, in fact, to be completely exact. As Ron Morris Racing season has ended, we may fill one more night with a recruitment race. But as of right now, this is the final scheduled recruitment race, the final opportunity for new drivers. The top 3 in the feature race in just a little bit will be racing racing their way to the SummerSlam 499 by the way of free entries at the end of tonight. We'll try to get race control to give us an idea of who those drivers are when the time comes. For the money racing regulars like Kyler Wynn and David Flanagan, they race for payouts tonight, but perhaps more importantly, they race to get their minds right, to get their last opportunity to garner some momentum headed in to the SummerSlam 499. 60 laps of racing await us, 2 heat races followed by a 30-lap feature. We'll give you all the information you need to know about this weekend and give you the perfect primer to get you ready for the biggest sim racing event of the summer and PGR's second biggest weekend of the year. It's Kyler Wynn, the Canadian, and David Flanagan to the Jack Shack on the front row. Green flag, we're racing in heat number 1. And immediately crashing in heat number 1. Usually we'll go to the wall cameras. We will not this time. We got one off the racetrack early. It's Frank Chavez in the 57 machine. He'll go sideways. And unfortunately, some bad luck early for one of the new drivers in the field. Rocketing off the banking of turns 1 and 2. It's David Flanagan, Kyler Wynn up alongside one another. And here goes the jostling. Out back, it's Jackson Byes and Axel Smith. Danny Barnes going to hop up to the top side. Landon Velicki on the push of David Flanagan. On the inside, it's Kyler Wynn with Sean Corbett. Through the middle, here comes Jackson Byes. And 33 machine's been sporty in these recruitment races. Looks to do so again. Trying to get that middle line to go to work. Mark Vondell trying to go with them perhaps, as well as Larry McDonald in that bright yellow Mountain Dew machine, about 8 rows deep in the field. And the man on the downslide so far is going to be Danny Barnes. He gets left out when that top line comes down to pinch just a little bit. At the line, lap 1, give it to David Flanagan in a fresh purple and yellow and pink Jack Shack Chevrolet painted for this weekend's race. One car off towards the back. That was Rusty Plant. It looks like he may have gotten it shaped back up. Up front continues to be David Flanagan. It was Kyler Wynn for a moment to the lead on the push from Sean Corbett. And Nash Rambillo, look at that triple tandem go on the bottom side of the racetrack. Jockeying again, Byes, Axel Smith down to the inside. They both make a hole. Comes the top down to side draft once again. David Flanagan to the door of Kyler Wynn. Not a lot of 3-wide jostling so far throughout the field, other than what Jackson Byes and Axel Smith have been able to do about 4 rows deep. That's really been the only notable 3-wide so far in this heat race, and it's not quite as stacked a field with money racing regulars as we're used to. There's a split right there. It's Mistretta around the right side of Josh Jambroni. Says, welcome back to PGR. Put your head on a swivel, trouble out back. Larry McDonald gets around. Several cars are going to pile in, and the caution flag will come out for the first time. McDonald, Wingo involved. Mark Vondell comes to a stop back here as well, and the caution flag will halt the field for the first time in tonight's events. Well, this one got started back around the returning. Well, actually, it did not. I thought it got started with Larry McDonald. It actually is going to get started with Mark Vondell. So let's go up here. Ooh, contact with Matt Frady trying to throw a block on the nose of the Kelly Blue Book Chevy Camaro, and Vondell comes back down. He'll cross the nose of the 17 of Bruce Barnard. The 21 of Adam Young going to get a piece of this as well. And then in the shuffle trying to miss it, looked like Larry Mack got a little contact from Rusty Plant, and that's what sent the 80 around. He gets actually into Plant more than once. And when he gets into him again, it pinballs him back up into Michael Wingo. Boy, I believe that was the 72, Mason Flieger. That was close for him getting involved in this. Wingo, big-time front-end damage on the 51. McDonald actually gets away pretty well unscathed. We'll see if there's any suspension damage to the 80 machine. We'll take one more quick look. Again, I wanted to get you some information about the SummerSlam tonight, so let's take one more quick look at this, and then we'll go back to live action. Kind of get you set for the schedule. You see right there, Frady tries to get across Mark Vondell's nose. He mistimes it just a little bit, and it gets Vondell out of shape. He comes down across the 17. There's Adam Young getting a piece. And Larry Mack in the scramble is... Oh, actually, he's going to get a piece of a different car. That's Daniel Falkingham. New paint scheme for him for the SummerSlam 499 this weekend as well. The Voodoo Donuts colors aboard Daniel Falkingham. And when he gets Falkingham, he goes down into Rusty Plant, then he pinballs back up the track, and then from there, Wingo is unfortunately nowhere to go for the 51. He'll get in the side of Larry Mack, and man, big damage for Wingo. And unfortunately going to be perhaps an early end to his evening. We'll see if he does continue to sit on pit road, and he will, which indicates to me that there are no fast repairs in tonight's race either. So we'll rack them back up. We'll try again. David Flanagan, Landon Velicki, Chase Mastretta, Kyler Wynn, Josh McCulley, your top 5. Rest of the top 10. Josh Tambroni, Sean Corbett, Brian Hennings, Jackson Byes, and Nash Brambilla. So let's get you set for this weekend. If you're a little new to PGR, or if it's your first time watching, or if you just are not aware of how this schedule is going to work, here is the weekend schedule for the SummerSlam 499, and I did not have enough foresight to put graphics up that display the schedule. We also don't have any, which might be an oversight on all of our parts. So let's get it started with Thursday night. Thursday night going to be night 1 of a 4-day event here on PGR eSports Network. Thursday night at 8 o'clock is the planned start time for heat race number 1. There will be 8 heat races total in this event this weekend. The first 3 planned to go on Thursday night. It will start with Heat 1 at 8 p.m. Eastern. We'll go live around 7:50 for some extended pre-race coverage, just to set the tone, to set the scene for the weekend, with that being the first night of the event. That first one goes off at 8. The second, just after 9 o'clock Eastern, will be Heat number 2. After 10 o'clock Eastern will be Heat number 3. That's night 1. 3 heat races. The top 10 out of each heat will go immediately to Saturday evening's dual races, as of right now with the format that we have set up. Friday night, identical to Thursday, 8 p.m., heat number 4, 9 p.m. Eastern, heat number 5, 10 p.m. Eastern, heat number 6. So the first 6 heats all on Thursday and Friday, 3 on Thursday, 8, 9, and 10 p.m. Eastern, 3 on Friday, 8, 9, and 10 p.m. Eastern. Saturday is where it gets a little bit interesting. In the early afternoon, as of right now, we'll have 2 heat races, heats 7 and 8, that will go off at 1 p.m. Eastern and 2 p.m. Eastern here on PGR eSports Network. Then we'll swap over. We'll have a bit of a break after heat number 8. Obviously, give the guys in those last 2 heats a chance to recharge. They'll both go to Duel 2, but either way, give them a little bit more time to rest up and recharge. And then we'll have Duel number 1 that goes at 4 p.m. Eastern, and Duel number 2 goes at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Those will be a little bit longer races in terms of lap length. So, again, first 3 heats Thursday night at 8, 9, and 10 p.m. Eastern. Second 3 heats at 8, 9, and 10 p.m. Eastern on Friday night. That'd be August 1st. Saturday, August 2nd, Heat 7 at 1 p.m. Eastern. Heat 8 at 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Then Duel 1 at 4 p.m. Eastern. And Duel 2 at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. That will set the 40-car field. It'll be actually somewhere around 42 car starting field for Sunday afternoon SummerSlam 499. The race goes green at 1 p.m. Eastern. We will be live with pre-race coverage sometime between 12:30 and 12:45 p.m. Eastern for an extended PGR pre-race show for the granddaddy of them all. The biggest sim racing event of the summer, Sunday afternoon, August 3rd. That's a week from yesterday. It's 6 days from right now. So that is a rundown of the entire schedule of the weekend as it's going to go off in terms of green flag times, in terms of broadcasting windows as well. Obviously, with Sunday, there will be more production. We'll talk to you about the broadcast team either at the end of this heat or potentially at our next caution flag break. We'll give you the the broadcast team and kind of the broadcast format, how that's going to look, the voices you're going to hear, the production you're going to see over the course of the next of those 4 days coming up this weekend. We got business to attend to here in heat number 1, though. 9 laps to go, and we take the green flag. It's David Flanagan and Landon Veliky on the front row. The transfer spot right now belongs to belongs to Jason Branch. Adam Young, as of now, the first car out, but a lot will change over the course of the next 9 laps of this one. The iRacing.com pace car will take the hard left turn. Flanagan will have Chase Mistretta lined up behind him, along with Josh McCullough. On the outside, Veliky, Wynn, and Jambroni will line up in the first 3 rows. Well, David Flanagan's looked really good in this opening heat race for the Jack Shack in that fresh new paint. Hoping he can do the same in his heat race later this week. Green flag back in the air, 9 laps to go. Heat number 1, a huge jump for Flanagan. They're going to try to get Mistretta all the way clear. They cannot. Flanagan will have a decision to make here. Stay on the bottom with Mistretta, go to the outside with Veliky, but neither line has any help really out back of that either. Top 12 cars really separated here off the banking into turn number 1. Flanagan will have help from Mistretta as Wynn drops down around Veliky. McCullough's going to go up to help Veliky, though, and all of a sudden Flanagan thinks differently. McCullough goes to the middle and splits. Nobody goes with him. Jambroni goes with Veliky, and we're scrambling down the Alabama Gang super stretch. Down the back straightaway into turn number 3. It's going to allow Chase Mistretta, Kyler Wynn to both get clear. Mistretta goes up. He was trying to bring Wynn with him, maybe throw a block as well. It did not work. Now Kyler Wynn to the inside. He'll go to the race lead off the exit of turn number 4. And here we go down the front straightaway. It's the Canadian Kyler Wynn, the former Podium 500 champion, that leads heat number 1. With a push of Sean Corbett, these two have tandemed away a little bit from the field. That outside rumbling here with Mistretta, Flanagan, Veliky, and company. They're coming into the fold quickly. Corbett and Wynn opt not to block. 8 laps to go. They're waiting on their help. 3 car lengths back to Nash Brambilla on the bottom, followed immediately by Axel Smith. But the outside is the line with the cars, and it will have the energy as well off turn number 2. It's Chase Mistretta in the 18 in the Budweiser Chevrolet that goes to the point. He loves this car. It's a great combo for him. It rewards hyper-aggressive racing. And right now, that is exactly what he is doing here off turn number 4. It'll be 7 laps to go. Sorry, I saw something wrong with the overlay. We're going to try to get that fixed here under the green flag. Well, it figures it just fixed itself as soon as I went to reload it in classic fashion. Chase Mistretta continuing to lead. Josh McCullough went all the way to the tail end of this lead draft. He's 17th scored on the racetrack right now, right behind Adam Young in the Miller Lite Chevrolet. Still Mistretta up front. He leads over Flanagan and Veliky at the line. It's Wynn on the bottom trying to rebound that bottom lane. That top lane's done a really good job of side drafting so far as well. They'll get broken up here now, though. There's Falkingham to the outside. That pink, white, and black Chevrolet up on the safer barrier. Goes around Brian Hennings. Goes around Mike Davenport. He'll have Jackson Wise jumping on his nose now. Another car got up. Looked like Jambroni came back to the fold as well in that top lane. Tight side trap by Mistretta. Only 3 cars in competition here at the front with Wynn, Corbett, and Brambilla on the bottom side of the racetrack, so that will park that run, and Mistretta continues to lead the way. Jackson Bice gets split. Daniel Falkingham up to 5th on the outside line now, and the PGR 500 champs wanting to grab right rears. He's going to get Josh Jambroni's. Landon Veliky throws a block on him. Former teammates there, Falkingham and Veliky. So Veliky knows the playbook very well. Going to protect his right rear quarter panel as Chase Mistretta continues to lead the way. Veliky trying to play defense against the Voodoo Donuts Chevy. Jambroni's out of shape, and they're almost 4 wide back around Axel Smith. They all get it saved. Still 3 wide, 4 rows deep back there, though. Up front, Mistretta, Flanagan, Wynn is your top 3. Kyler Wynn gets a nice push down the Alabama Gang super stretch and draws the side draft. Here comes the pinch from Mistretta and Flanagan and company. Wynn noses ahead on the push from Corbett, who's doing his due diligence, being a good soldier down there for the 84. But now again, here comes that top lane with a big run. Now Falkingham going to look the other way, shades to the middle. Veliky not taking the bait, maybe a little bit of a ploy from Falkingham to try to get him to expose that right rear quarter panel. He will not do so. 5 laps to go in heat number 1. Mistretta back to the point again, led several laps since that restart. Axel Smith around the Jambroni machine 3 wide, but Jambroni's got that middle line working. Only 2 cars up on the top side. Axel Smith and Jackson Bice, they're making it work so far up against the safer barrier. They'll almost get to Adam Young back around those transfer positions. They're 17th and 18th on the racetrack. Down the back straightaway, headed for turn number 3. Kyler Wynn goes 6, 7 car lengths back in the leaders now. Top 4 are clear. Falkingham looking. Now we'll go down there. Falkingham leads Kyler Wynn on the bottom side now. It's the 39, the defending PGR 500 winner and PGR Series champion on the inside. It is Mistretta, Flanagan, Velicky, Josh McCullough on the outside, who's rebounded all the way to 4th. At the line, 4 laps to go. Heat number 1, just over 10 miles remaining here in this first heat race. Adam Young's jumped in front of Axel Smith, and they've got a 3rd line going now, trying to grab some right rears. They're going to get around Matt Frady. They're going to get to Mike Davenport. They may get to Hennings unless those PGR cars throw a block. Hennings will be able to. Davenport will not. That's about 6 rows deep in the field. Falkingham got up in front of Mistretta. That's for the lead. Flanagan looks around the right rear. Mistretta opts to push instead as Hennings starts to grab right rears. He almost took Josh McCullough's there. Adam Young may get back to Hennings as he hops back in line. Up front, Falkingham and Mistretta have tandemed away. That allows Kyler Wynn to hop in front of David Flanagan. That is the 3rd position on the racetrack now. These guys up front can't jockey too terribly much because they're all in if everything goes according to plan. 22 cars for 15 spots in this lead draft. 3 laps to go. Falkingham, Mistretta, Wynn, Flanagan, Velicky, McCullough, Hennings, Young, maybe Smith, all clear. A lot of cars clear of the top lane, but here comes the bottom again. This time it's Corbett, Brambilla, Davenport, Rusty Plant. A couple other cars down there towards the tail end of this pack as well. And they've got a big run. They're all the way to Velicky. Now they'll get to Flanagan. And by the time they enter turn number 3, Sean Corbett may very well be 4th in line on the running order. And Kyler Wynn sees it. He comes back down. Again, Corbett will do his job on the back of the 84 of Kyler Wynn. Had to lift a little bit there off turn number 4. That will allow Flanagan to Falkingham to continue to lead. As out back, here comes Axel Smith again with Jackson Buys. They're going to get to the outside of McCullough. Landon Velicky going to do the same thing he did with Flanagan. They'll block. They'll go all the way to the wall. Top 4 cars on the outside going to go all the way up, block Axel Smith, and right back down to side draft. Leaves Landon Velicky in a bit of a bad spot, but it's Kyler Wynn getting out front from the push of Sean Corbett. Mistretta to the outside of Falkingham. He finally got the split he was looking for, but didn't have the momentum he wanted. McCullough now gets stuck in the middle because of Landon Velicky. Out back, they are jockeying right around those transfer spots. We'll give you an update on those when we come back around to the white flag. Kyler Wynn leads. Back around Josh McCullough's where it gets really hairy from 12th on back in the field. Wynn over Falkingham over Mistretta, but now here comes Sean Corbett on the bottom with Brambilla in tow. And Mike Davenport, Rusty Plant, a couple other cars down there as well. Jack Mummert may be one of them that's on the inside trying to opt for one of those transfer positions. White flag is up. 1 lap to go. Heat number 1. Couple cars bailed to the middle. Around the transfer spots. Can the bottom line get far enough ahead? Jack Mummer just let a car back in line. 1 car off. It was Rusty Plant. There was a couple of cars off towards the back. Matt Huffman's off as well. It leaves 20 for 15 spots on the final lap of heat number 1. Win on the push from Falkingham up front. These guys can't get too dangerous or they will wreck themselves out of the feature race here in just a moment. Smith, oh man, he and Buys tried to time it. Now Mistretta times it to the inside. Here comes the Budweiser Chevrolet. He almost gets turned by Flanagan. The tandem off of turn number 4. Back around those transfer positions. It is as hairy as ever right around Brian Hennings off turn number 4. Kyler Wynn back to the lead with Daniel Falkingham almost 4 wide back around the transfer spots. Through the tri-oval, it'll be pretty easy and uncontested for Wynn. Trouble around the transfers. At the line, it is Wynn over Mistretta by 1/100th. And towards the tail end, timing and scoring all over the place for who got in. Take a breath. That was fun. Kyler Wynn, Chase Mistretta, Daniel Falkingham, David Flanagan, Axel Smith, they're all in. So too are Jackson Buys, Landon Velicky, Danny Barnes, Matt Frady, and Sean Corbett. Last 5 in on my timing and scoring. Josh Dambroni, Nash Brambilla, Brian Hennings, Mike Davenport, and Mark Vondell gets the final transfer spot. Adam Young, the first driver out in 16th. We move now to heat number 2. It's a quick transition into heat number 2, but let's get into it. As we go back trackside at Talladega, let's get a look at the starting grid for heat race number 2. On the pole, the 03, it's the captain from McCullough Motorsports. It's Kenny McCullough Jr. in the 03 Chevrolet, the Valvoline colors. 52.159 is his lap time. To his outside, it's the captain for Team Dega Pros. It's John Ward in the 92, familiar yellow, blue, and red aboard that Ford Mustang. Row 2, Steve Sizemore in the 8 machine will line up alongside Justin Melichar in the 58. On row 3, it's Evan Carlbine, the Bark Chevrolet for the Jack Shack, and Trevor Osmond, his teammate, a brand new paint scheme for the SummerSlam 499 aboard that Chevrolet. He'll roll from 6th. Row 4, it's David Sheets in the 06 machine, and Chris Carter listed in the 65. He's got a different number on that car. We'll get to that when we can get a better look at that machine. Row 5 series owner Michael Triscaro's on track tonight in a new look for him as well. Looks like black and green and yellow shades of Cole Trickle back there in the 9th position for Michael Triscaro. It'll be Garrett Caswell that rolls from 10th in the 777s. Row 6 going to be James Waring of Dega Pros in the 13 machine, and Corey Wright in the 64 will line up from 12th. Nathan Harper in the 13th position. Got to be one of the favorites this weekend. He'll line up on the inside of row 7. Jake Pittengoro will line up alongside him in the 20, one of the new drivers. Row 8, Kevin Tipton in the 56, and Miles Bagley in the 87 will roll 15th and 16th. Row 9, Mark Allen Bivens in the 76, and Josh Sutherland in the 6 machine. Row 10, rounding out the top 20, it's Cameron Hackett in 19th and Luke Freeman in 20th. Row 11, Michael Boyd will roll from 21st, Max Dinda in 22nd. Owen Van Noy from 23rd position tonight in heat number 2, and Dustin Sveck from position 24. Row 13, it's Ryan Bailey for Reactor 9 Esports in the 25 machine. He'll go from 25th. Hunter Hucks in the 5 from 26th. Row 14, it's Casey Sprinkle in the 63. Familiar colors aboard his race car tonight. He'll roll from 27th. It's Wyatt Gray in the 50, outside of him in 28th. Row 15, Nick Seipel's been one of the hottest drivers in the field in these kinds of draft packages. He'll roll from 29th, the winner of last Monday's race. And Tucker McClendon in the 00 will roll from 30th. Final car on the grid is Gavin Schilling. Well, several cars did not make the grid. Not sure if they're going to pit start or if they just straight up did not make the race tonight. As we move the grid off the screen, those drivers include Max Dinda, who is actually looking to pit start here, it looks like, in the 48 machine. Owen Van Noy, Hunter Hucks, Wyatt Gray, Nick Seipel, and Gavin Schilling did not make the grid of this race. So as they will start, it will be 26 on track for 15 spots. We'll see if those other 5 get in the race here in just a moment. Heat number 1 is done. Heat number 2 about to get underway, as it will be Kenny McCullough that will lead the field of the green flag. 15 more spots on the line for this feature event coming up right after the conclusion of heat race number 2. Great racing in heat 1. Let's see if we can match it here in the second heat. Several teammates, several regulars, and a lot of new drivers, a lot of new blood aiming for those 3 free entries. Green flag in the air. We're racing in heat race number 2. Off turn 4, headed down towards the start-finish line. Not as much early jockeying as we saw in heat number 1, but now there's some here as they reach the start-finish line, and it's going to be a couple teammates separated by a couple cars here. John Ward leads the opening lap on the push from Kenny McCullough, longtime teammates a while back at McCullough Motorsports, but working together once again here early in the going of this heat race. But on the outside's where the momentum is, and it's the Bark Chevy of Evan Carlbon. John Ward sees it. He goes up to block. Carlbon pushes for now, but would not be surprised to see that Jack Shack entry drop to the inside as soon as his teammate Trevor Osborne gets clear. Justin Melachar is up here separating those 2 Jack Shack teammates. And out back, it's a fracas for about 20th on back in this field. Tucker McClendon was all over the racetrack trying to find spots. Ooh, one car gets turned out of line. Couldn't tell exactly who that was. Might have been the Luke Freeman machine. Could have been Ryan Bailey as well. Could not tell which car that was. By the way, those 5 cars that were not on the grid, Gray, Hucks, Van Noy, Schilling, and Seipel, have not started tonight's race. They will be eliminated unless they get on track. Max Dinda is 1 lap down. He will need a caution to get back in this one. First 7 are clear on the outside back to Miles Bagley. New look for him for the SummerSlam 499 as well. A lot of guys with new paint schemes coming up this weekend. I'm trying to learn them as soon as you are. But so far, so good. Michael Triscaro back up in line back there about 18 cars deep. He is, as they run, outside the transfer positions, but not by much, 16th on the racetrack now. Bottom line coming back. That is, I believe, the Chris Carter machine. Now Bagley jumps out. Now another car jumps out. That may have been Garrett Caswell. Then hops out of line. right of the bumper of Miles Bagley, and all of a sudden now the bottom comes back. Carlbon bails on John Ward. Osborne looked to the middle for a moment in that 89, but he'll come back in line trouble. Steve Sizemore's around into the outside wall. Goes the 8 machine. A couple more come piling into it. They're still crashing back here in turn number 1. It's Michael Boyd, Cameron Hackett. Looked like another car, the 76 Mark Allen Bivens, and Steve Sizemore are going to be the ones involved in this one. 12 laps to go. That's the caution Max Dinda needed. He will be back on the lead lap. We'll take a quick look at this one, then we'll talk about the broadcasting process and perhaps the format as well. This one we caught just barely as it started. Steve Sizemore back here just inside the top 15, and I think they're going to maybe go 4 wide. Oh, well, they thought about it right there. You saw Michael Triscaro. And trying to get a better angle here. Ooh, car's going for real estate that isn't there. You see Mark Allen Bivens actually through the middle. That was a good move. I think he was trying to stay off of Cameron Hackett, and when he did, he comes down into Steve Sizemore, collects the 8. You see the 76, the 26. There's one more car involved in that too. I can't for the life of me tell who that is. Casey Sprinkle just misses it. The 60 is involved. That's Luke Freeman. That other car involved, I for the life of me couldn't tell who that was. It's the 20 of Jake Pitangoro. There you see Boyd collected by Hackett. And that is what causes the first caution of the night here in heat number 2. We'll take one more quick look at it from high above. See Mark Allen Bivens, the orange, white, and black 76. Well, there may have been some netcode there as well with the 8 of Steve Sizemore, but they all come together and it is chaos. There's Freeman getting in it. Looks like the 25 of Ryan Bailey may have been involved as well. There you see Boyd and Hackett coming together. And Pitangoro gets involved also. So no fast repairs in the pits. Guys are going to have to repair damage. Steve Sizemore is still down there, so he will likely go a lap down with 11 laps to go. He'll need some help to get back in to this one. All right, let's take it to the broadcast team, who we expect to be around this weekend, and also the format of how the broadcasting will work, give you the idea of how the programming will look come this weekend. The heat races will be a lot of solo man teams or 2-man teams. It's going to be mostly myself throughout Thursday and Friday night. Excited to be back as the voice of PGR this weekend, at least for the heat races. I have heard that we may get an appearance from Austin Green on one or both nights of heat racing, so looking forward to that. And having my usual partner in crime, Austin Green, here on the microphone with me for heat racing Thursday and Friday night. Saturday, our broadcast team will also probably be mostly a solo operation. We might get some of Austin Green on Saturday. May have Landon Velicki some on Saturday. Kind of be all over the place. Michael Triscaro going to be on call as well. We'll have to see kind of how things work out. Potential of a little bit more professional production on Saturday evening for the duels, but that is still being worked on as we speak for this week. And then Sunday afternoon is the big one. At this point, your broadcast team for this 3rd annual SummerSlam 499, again, going to be a rotation of our usual voices as of right now. Myself as the host and play-by-play commentary. And then from there, we could have an appearance from Austin Green, could have an appearance from Landon Velicki, or could have an appearance from Michael Triscaro. We'll just have to kind of work out on Sunday afternoon how that broadcast team looks. But then Sunday afternoon, really excited to have our producer come back from the PGR 500, Christian Hill, going to be back to work with us on Sunday afternoon. That's going to be a lot of fun. Christian is as good as it gets in terms of the production side of things. Back in February, definitely made things flow so much better. So great to work with him once again for this race. So Sunday will look just like February if you remember back to that race in the PGR 500. Going to be a lot of fun to work with Christian once again. But that's the broadcast team. Here's how the broadcast format will look quickly. Thursday night and Friday night, all 3 heats will be condensed into one broadcast link. One continuous stream from 8 p.m. until about 11 o'clock when we're going off the air for night 1 of heat racing. It'll be the same on Friday night. So what we'll do is throughout this week, those streams will get posted before Thursday night. They're going to get posted hopefully in the next couple of days. So they're up. You can see them. You can plan. You can bookmark those pages and come right back to them on Thursday and Friday night. So those will be all one on Thursday. It'll be all one on Friday. We'll start the broadcast as normal. We'll do pre-race. We'll do heat number 1. We'll do the end of the race, the post-race, any post-race we can do from heat number 1. It'll be quick. We might get an interview with the winner of each heat. Then we'll go to a brief break. We'll get switched over. We'll do heat number 2 in the same fashion. A short pre-race, the post-race, same thing, short break, pre-race for heat 3, heat number 3, post-race, and then we will go off the air for the night. That's Thursday and Friday night. Saturday afternoon, it's going to be split. Heats 7 and 8 will be their own broadcast stream. Those will go the same as heats 1 through 3 and heats 4 through 6. We will take an extended break after the conclusion of heat number 8 of about an hour or so to get prepped for the dual races, which will go green at 4 p.m. Eastern on Saturday evening. That will also be its own separate broadcast link. They'll all be posted here in the next couple days. They'll all have thumbnails that list exactly which heats or which duels are in the broadcast stream. We'll list exactly on the thumbnail what is going to be in each one. And, of course, Sunday afternoon will be its own standalone stream for the SummerSlam 499. That's how the format's going to work. We've done the schedule now. Quickly go through the format because it's very similar to what you're going to see in the feature race tonight. 30-lap heat races is literally going to be what we run coming up here in just a moment. 25 cars. We'll have 30 in the feature, but 25 will start each heat race. It'll be 30 laps long. The top 10 out of 25 advance to Saturday evening's dual races. As of now, there is no last chance qualifiers. We'll see if that changes depending on the count on the entry list coming forward in the week. We'll try to let you know before the event starts, or at least during the heat races, if that is going to change. So it'll be 10 from each heat. Out of 8 different heats, that'll be 80 drivers advancing to duels, 40 in each one. They'll race for 20 spots apiece in Sunday afternoon SummerSlam 499. It's very simple, very clear cut. We'll have a couple of provisionals as well into Sunday afternoon's race. It is a somewhat simple format, but a lot more complicated when you actually get cars on the racetrack racing. And, of course, anything can happen will happen. Meanwhile, business again to be attended to here. Green flag back in the air in heat race number 2, and it's a great jump for the Bark Chevy of Evan Carlbon. John Ward on the inside, Justin Melichar on the outside. Who's Carlbon going to stay with? And the answer is the outside. John Ward will drive up alongside him in that Dega Pros Ford Mustang. A switch in manufacturers for the captain at Dega Pros this weekend. As Melichar tries to push Carlbon on the bottom, it was Caswell in the back of Ward. Out back, one tried to split, looked like David Sheets, as they rocket up to speed down the Alabama Gang Super Stretch. Okay, not as much jockeying for 3 wide in this race, I don't think, as much as heat number 1, but as soon as I say that, move to the middle. Here comes Osbernoth, but it's just a side draft. They'll bring the leader, Evan Carlbon, down. Every car in that top lane going to come down to side draft. This will be a prime opportunity to gain yourself a spot on the outside by grabbing a right rear quarter panel, but nobody is able to do so on that outside line. It's still all Carlbon up front, 7 to go. In heat number 2, Carlbon, Melichar, going to look to the middle perhaps, just coming down to side draft. As that inside gets a huge run, John Ward, Garrett Caswell poke their noses through. Miles Bagley is there, so is Chris Carter. Ward goes to the push of Carlbon, and it'll be Garrett Caswell leading the way on the inside. Former winner in McCullough Motorsports racing competition. And having himself a good start to the season in the Tuesday Night League, I broadcast the Challenger Cup Series coming up tomorrow night from Indianapolis. Osbernoth down to side track as Caswell tries to get a run. Couple cars in the wall out back. That was David Sheets. And one other car behind him as that push is too much for the outside. New leader at Talladega, Garrett Caswell, the 777s. He'll have to block the outside. He's choosing not to right now. And he'll bring Miles Bagley back to him here as they do not go to the outside lane, and now he's going to get split. Caswell goes to no man's land in the Exalta Chevy. Ward goes around the outside, Bagley around the inside. And Caswell, the loneliest man in virtual Lincoln, Alabama. Osbernoth to the middle, down to side draft again as John Ward opts not to there on the exit of turn number 2. That will hand the lead briefly to Miles Bagley before Ward takes it back. Ooh, that was a tight split there with Miles Bagley. Bagley may have had to check up just a little bit as Ward goes down to block the bottom. It's John Ward up at the front of the 92. Outside reeling just a bit here. Carlbon's all the way back to 4th as Chris Carter comes forward. He's waiting on a push from Justin Melichar, and it's just not there. Out back, Kenny McCullough and Casey Sprinkle to the outside. They're going to get a couple spots here on Triscaro and McClendon and a couple of other cars. Back to the line. 5 to go, and the top 3 are driving away from the field here by about 0.4 of a second. Now, they will likely be caught, but man, Melichar just cannot get squared up to the back of Evan Carlbon and Lobato. Trouble out back of the leaders. It was a couple cars that got sideways. It was Tucker McClendon and a couple of others that get around. And the caution flag will fly for the second time in heat race number 2. So a chance to breathe for the guys in the field as it's McClendon. That gets sideways. Ooh, this may have been Garrett Caswell that got into him. We'll take a quick couple looks at this and kind of go from there. We'll get to the prize pool and talk about the entry list of the SummerSlam 499 in a bit. So we'll take a brief look at this one. Ooh, 4 wide in front of them. That's Kenny McCullough. And a couple other cars there in the middle. Looks like the 64 of Corey Wright, the 56 of Kevin Tipton. And as McClendon got on the scene, he gets a little hit from Garrett Caswell as he checks up. Mark Allen Bivens going to get involved. Caswell's going to catch a piece. Looks like the 48 of Max Dinda trying to miss it. It just got back on the lead lap, and holy cow, he missed it. The low Chevy of Max Dinda, that was close. Guys coming along from out back. Doesn't look like anybody else going to get involved in this one. We'll take another couple looks at this one. Take a little bit more of an extended view of this one. We're going to go on board with Max Dinda in a moment. And that 48 machine. As McClendon. Oh, actually, Caswell got hit from out back from Bivens. And as he's trying to deal with that, then he's trying to check up for McClendon. And it all just kind of happened so fast that Caswell got in the back of the 00, and it was on from there. You see Bivens gets a piece of the 00 also, and up the track comes McClendon. They'll collect Caswell, a 3-car incident. Watch Max Dinda here in the 48. This is about as close as it gets. He committed to the top at the last second, dives to the bottom, about a foot of clearance for that 48 machine. We'll go on board briefly with him, then we'll go back live for a moment here at Talladega Super Speedway for overtime in heat race number 2. Let's go on board here with that 48. That's Max Dinda, who just potentially saved his night with his avoidance of Tucker McClendon. You're on board with Max Dinda, the driver of the 48. Oh boy. That's about as close as it gets for Dinda. He will miss that crash and get to stay on the speedway for another chance at this one. So it's John Ward that leads the way. It's Miles Bagley second. It's Chris Carter third. It's Jake Pitangoro in fourth position. And Nathan Harper back in fifth. Evan Carlbon sixth. James Waring seventh. Justin Melichar eighth. Trevor Osborne in ninth. Dustin Svek in 10th. Last 5 in transfer spots right now. Josh Sutherland in 11th. Kenny McCullough in 12th. Kevin Tipton in 13th. Casey Sprinkle in 14th. And Corey Wright back in the 15th position. Notable drivers outside the transfer. Michael Triscaro runs 16th. Garrett Caswell runs in 17th. Just talked about Max Dinda. He is 19th. Tucker McClendon and Steve Sizemore on pit road with damage. Cameron Hackett called it a night on lap 4. He will be eliminated in 26th. And again, the 5 cars that did not make the grid: Wyatt Gray, Gavin Schilling, Owen Van Noy, Hunter Hux, and Nick Seipel. So 15 advance, 25 still on the lead lap, with still a chance to get in. Again, no fast repairs in the pits for drivers tonight, so got to use your one car wisely, and that will be the case for this weekend. SummerSlam 499, the heat races, the dual races, the feature race. No fast repairs, no do-overs this weekend. You get one car, and you have to make it work for your heat race. Got to keep it clean, got to make smart decisions to get yourself in a position to race your way in, and then from there, a chance to win. And speaking of that, let's segue into the prize pool. As of right now, about the top half of the field will get paid out. But really, the only meaningful prize to the guys who will be racing on Sunday is going to be that first place money prize, $1,750 going to the winner of the 3rd annual SummerSlam 499. Along with that will be a championship belt. Malik Ray won one last year in this event. And he's entered again with a chance to win another one. For a lot of guys, that belt means a lot. The money is really nice. It is a really big payday, but the belt means a lot, and the prestige, the honor of being called a champion of a crown jewel in PGR. It's a very exclusive list. In fact, it is 3 drivers if you count the initial SummerSlam race. It was a 94-lap event in 2023. Those 3 drivers are Alex Hill, Malik Ray, and Daniel Falkingham. End of list. That's it. So someone will add their name to that list this weekend in the SummerSlam 499, or one of those 3 is going to repeat as a crown jewel winner and add another crown jewel to their legacy here in PGR. Some of the names signed up include last year's SummerSlam 499 winner Malik Ray. The PGR 500 champ Daniel Falkingham is entered. A former ERA Omega Cup Spring Bowl champion Cody Nagels has entered his name into the ring for the SummerSlam 499, I believe, as well. Garrett Maines, who's won about everything there is to win here in PGR besides a crown jewel, he is entered into the event. Zach Novak makes a return. He raced back in February in the PGR 500. He'll be on that entry list as of now as well. Colin Keister makes a return to PGR. Again, he's running a couple of these different events now. Kevin Champagne. I believe we might see Justin Champagne as well this weekend. Guys that raced back in February. Jack Mace as well. Caden Diedrich. Cade McClenny has already put his name on the list by virtue of the free entry he won either last week or the week before. And a name that PGR fans of old will remember. Garrett Caswell's incurred an EOL penalty on this restart. Note that for housekeeping purposes. But a name many old-time, well, not old-time, but he hasn't been around in a while that PGR fans will remember. Welcome back to PGR eSports competition. Andrew Navarro, former Romhorse Racing Tuesday Night Thunder champion, multi-time PGR winner. He's in the field as well. 2 laps to go. It's overtime here in the recruitment race for the SummerSlam 499 heat race number 2. John Ward gets a nice start, and he'll have one of the new drivers, Jake Pittengoro, behind him on this restart. On the inside, it's Bagley with Carter. Ward bails to the bottom. Out back, Tucker McClendon dicing through the field with a clean race car, trying to get into this one. Carlbahn has Harper on his back bumper as Pittengoro got clear to the bottom. On the outside now, Ward leads. Osborne throws it on the nose of one of the cars in that outside line, might have been Dustin Svek in the 27. They jockey for position at Talladega as they roll down towards turn 3. And for the first time, it's a new driver putting his nose out front. Jake Pittengoro to the lead in PGR competition. On a Monday night, but not for long. Here comes John Ward, the push from Evan Carlbahn, 2 of the veterans of the series. On the outside with Nathan Harper and a couple of others, Justin Metlachar, Trevor Oswald out back, Svek, McCullough, Triscaro all jockeying. That's right around that transfer position. White flag is up, 1 lap to go at Talladega in the recruitment race. And Michael Triscaro going to have to find a way to get something going here. He'll get put 4 wide, though, on the final lap of this one. Up front, all John Ward, Evan Carlbahn, Nathan Harper. In the middle, here come Bagley and Trevor Osborne through the middle of the racetrack. They'll get a run down the Alabama Gang super stretch. Osborne going to have to bail back in line. Bagley going to bail to the bottom of the push of Pittengoro. Where did Tucker McClendon come from? He shoots like a cannon through the middle of the racetrack. As of now, Triscaro going to have to hope they wreck in front of him. Couple cars starting to get squirrely. Triscaro trying to take advantage. 1 car in the wall. That sheets out back. 4 wide for the transfer position. Caswell. 1 car gets sideways. Big crash off turn number 4. Cars trying to miss it. They scatter everywhere. At the line, Evan Carlbahn going to win heat race number 2 as they scramble for those transfer spots out back. Ooh. Crash again here in turn number 1. Here is how they will line up. Evan Carlbahn, Miles Bagley, Jake Pittengoro, Chris Carter, John Ward are all in. Nathan Harper, Kenny McCullough, Trevor Osborne, Kevin Tipton gets in. James Waring. Last 5 unofficially. Casey Sprinkle, Josh Sutherland, Justin Metlachar, Dustin Svek, and Michael Boyd. Garrett Caswell out. Mark Allen Bivens out. David Sheets out. Max Dinda, Luke Freeman. Michael Triscaro is out. Tucker McClendon is out. Steve Sizemore is out. So is Ryan Bailey, along with the 5 that missed the grid. Well, that was electric stuff from Talladega Superspeedway, but stay with us because we have 30 laps of feature racing coming up here in just a moment. I'm not sure if we're going to have a warm-up period here. I'm failing to remember if we had one of these before. We'll see if we do get one here as we wait for the heat race to clear off of the timer. And we will indeed have a warm-up period for the grid here in the end of heat race number 2 heading into the feature. So what we're going to do, we're going to take our only break of the night, a brief side-by-side commercial break. You won't miss a thing. We're going to stay side-by-side so you don't miss a moment of the action from Talladega. They're warming up. They're getting ready. We're feature racing in a moment. We'll be right back from Talladega Superspeedway. You're watching PGR eSports coverage of the final SummerSlam 499 recruitment race. We'll be right back.
green flag is in the air. We are racing. Three by three. Almost no trouble. Around goes Alex Hill. On into the outside wall goes Hill. They're wrecking big time out back. We're not going to throw a caution. To the finish. Who gets it in the line? Cody Nagels wins it in Talladega.
Have created our own drink company. The fastest growing sports drink in history.
We will run! We will run! Ladies and gentlemen, we got Alan.
The monkey has prime!
This season, we are hydrated.
The official sports drink of the UFC. It's on!
Oh, that's good.
Welcome back to PGR eSports coverage of the final recruitment race for the SummerSlam 499. We're about to get to feature racing. So glad that you've decided to spend your Monday night with us. Shouting out to some of the people in the chat. Corey Chu in the chat. All Knobs in the chat. TA Autosports, that's Trevor Osborne. He'll be racing here in just a moment. Tanya Cook, rooting for Garrett Caswell. Unfortunately eliminated right there. Heath Job in the chat. Venom Chase and Kenny Real. All coming out tonight to watch some SummerSlam recruitment race action. Be sure to use the chat as freely as you'd like throughout the course of tonight's race. I know we all like to see it on the broadcasting team. All right, it's time to feature race. These have been really, really fun races the past few weeks. Let's see if we get another classic in tonight's edition. On the poll for the feature race, these were set by virtue of finishing order in their heat race. It's Kyler Wynn on the inside of row number 1. He'll start from pole. On the outside, the winner of heat number 2, Evan Carlbon. Row 2, Chase Mastretta and Miles Bagley. Row 3, Daniel Falkingham and Jake Pittengoro. Row 4, David Flanagan and Chris Carter. With row 5 being Axel Smith and John Ward. Back on row 6 and 11th will be Jackson Vice. 12th will be Nathan Harper. 13th, Landon Velicky. 14th, Kenny McCullough. 15th will be Danny Barnes. Trevor Osborne will line up 16th. Matt Frady will line up from 17th. Kevin Tipton in 18th. Sean Corbett will go from 19th. James Waring in 20th. Josh Ambroni in 21st. Casey Sprinkle in 22nd. Row 12, Nash Brambilla 23rd. Josh Sutherland 24th. Brian Innings 25th. Justin Melichar in 26th. Mike Davenport 27th for Team PGR. Dustin Svek in 28th. Mark Vondell 29th. Michael Boyd in 30th. And I believe Adam Young is not going to make the field. He finished 16th in his heat. But it'll be Michael Boyd, the final of 30 cars in this feature race. Sean Corbett opting to pit start. So you will not see him reflected in his starting spot up towards the front of the field. Different song, same verse tonight, as has been the pattern on Monday nights for recruitment races. 30 laps total in this feature event. Pit stops needed. We'll see if the cautions fall in the times where we do not need to make a green flag pit stop. There will be one needed, I believe, throughout the course of this race. Top 3 new drivers in tonight's event will be gifted a free entry into the SummerSlam 499 this weekend. For the money racing regulars like Wynn, Carlbon, Stretta, Bagley, Falkingham, etc., they are looking simply for a payout tonight. A top 5 payout for those guys, as well as the bragging rights, the momentum, the mindset heading into this weekend's events. Really the last chance these guys will get to run their cars, run this combo, that is, before Thursday night when heats begin. Maybe a chance tomorrow night that's not set in stone at this point in time, but perhaps an opportunity tomorrow night. But as of right now, all these guys know that they have is this 30-lap race to get themselves ready for Thursday night's action. It's Kyler Wynn and Evan Carlbon on the front row. Who's going to get it done? Great flag in the air. We're racing once again from Talladega. Kyler Wynn in control once again off turn number 4, pushed by Chase Mastretta. And again, just like in their heat race, these two pushed away from the field. They'll come back to earth now as the field rounds by on lap number 1. Mastretta to the push of Evan Carlbon on the outside. Trevor Osbornaut's been dicing back and forth trying to get to the front. He's back around Danny Barnes, already +4, +8 for Josh Jambroni. So big movers already. Nathan Harper, Kenny McCullough, a couple others up against the safer barriers. Mastretta will go to the point. On the push from Carlbon, but that bottom line's got more help. Kyler Wynn, Daniel Falkingham, David Flanagan, Miles Bagley all in line. It's Pitt and Goro that runs third, hanging tough. Throwing elbows with some of the best is that Fanatec Chevy on the outside. Kyler Wynn through turns 3 and 4 will get a nice push from Daniel Falkingham. They'll go to 1-2. Out back, Carlbon and Mastretta couldn't get connected. Carlbon goes to the outside and will go all the way to the back. Lucky for him, a 30-lap race, not a 15-lap race. 4 wide around Nathan Harper as they lap by Carlbon. Down into turn number 1. Carlbon all the way to the back end of the field, and top 3 are driving away. Wynn, Falkingham, and Flanagan. Bagley gets clear. That's in 4th. He'll bring Axel Smith to the party with him on the far outside, about 6 rows deep. It was Osbornaut leading it. Now it's Carter that leads that lineup on the outside of the racetrack. That's going to allow a couple cars to come forward on the bottom, including Axel Smith, including Jackson Wise, including Matt Frady, and including Nash Brambilla. And Nash Brambilla's teammate Brian Hennings is going to get through that group now as well. Those two +15 and +16 respectively. John Ward almost gets turned out back by Justin Metlikar in the 58. They'll go 4 wide for a moment around that Skittle Chevrolet, but everything stays straight. We stay good, no harm, no foul. Lap 3 down, lap 4 on the board, top 7, top 8, top almost 9, clear on the bottom. 9 cars clear, then 3 wide basically from there on back. That's where the jostling is out behind 9th place Brian Hennings. And now, well, all of a sudden, that's going to change. Here come the PGR boys on the outside. Brambilla pushed by Hennings. Matt Frady going to stay in line for now. No option now as those two come back to earth just a little bit. But as they side draft and they pinch down here into turn number 3, not only will they start to gain some momentum themselves and gain some spots, they're already up to Jackson Wise. They'll also bring that second pack back into the party. Here comes Carter. Here comes Osbornaut. Here come Danny Barnes, Chase Mastretta, Josh Jambroni, Kenny McCullough, and the rest of the field. And that will be a welcome sight for the PGR teammates on the outside. All good up here for the top 5, top 6 back to Jackson Wise. He will be under attack here from Brambilla on into turn number 1. But again, the help dissolves. Carter goes to the bottom. Mastretta goes to the bottom. Barnes coming to help. And now Mastretta jumps back up. Looked like one car might have gotten turned out back. I thought it was Kenny McCullough. Oh, now he's going to get fenced. Oh, boy. Kenny McCullough just got run into the outside wall by James Waring. Not sure what happened there. Not sure if that was tempers or guys trying to hold on to their race cars. But regardless, tough break there for Kenny McCullough. He will need a caution now. A couple other cars lost the draft back there around Kenny McCullough. Mark Mondell, Michael Boyd, Sean Corbett pit started. Now Waring loses the draft. Josh Sutherland back in the 25th spot's the last car in the lead pack. Brambilla up to the left side, or the right side of Axel Smith. Top 3 starting to drive away as that middle line side drafts. It'll be a third line. Jambroni almost gets turned by John Ward. We got to take it back there because this is going to be a big moment. 4 wide. Barnes, Jambroni, Harper, Frady. Middle of 4 wide in the banking of turn number 1. Barnes going to be the odd man out, trying to stay off Justin Metlikar. Evan Carlbon, Landon Velicki going to try to get by this as well. And we all keep it straight and keep it green. 4 wide again. Barnes got split another time out back. That was 56, I believe, of Tipton. Up front, man, Kyler Wynn, Daniel Falkingham, David Flanagan, Miles Bagley, they're loving this. Off turn number 4, they've been able to just relax for the first 5 laps of this heat race. But now here comes the charge, and that's because look who the pusher is. Chase Mistretta going to shove Brambilla all the way to the lead. Kyler Wynn thought about blocking it, but that run is huge. Not a blockable run for Kyler Wynn. And Nash Brambilla goes all the way to the point and immediately gets hung out to dry by Chase Mistretta. Here comes the 8 team to the bottom side. Hennings will now push his teammate again. Mistretta, I don't know if he mistimed that a little bit or what happened. Ward with Carbon and Veliky, they're going to split out Jambroni about 5 rows deep. Osbornaut jumps on the push of Ward. Hennings, can he block it? He tried. Osbornaut's going to get turned. Osbornaut's going to make an all-time save in the 89. That might have been save of the year. For the green 89 machine, he was about 5th when that happened right in front of the field. The field stay off of him, and Osbornaut makes a generational save in that 89 machine to somehow keep it straight. The field now all kinds of blown apart here. Front 2 have driven away. They will get caught. Falkingham and company, they're tandem right now, Mistretta and Wynn, but they're going to get run down here pretty quickly once Wynn comes off the back of Mistretta. But for now, they continue to drive away. Shades of 2011 up here at the front. Now they get separated a little bit off of turn number 2, and here comes the lead pack. They get separated by a car length. They're going to have a big run when they get there. Nash Brambilla, Brian Hennings, Josh Jambroni, they're going to have big runs when they get there. Where will they take them? Probably to the bottom of the racetrack. They will. Oh, man, Mistretta. You saw the brief moment where he thought about blocking that run by Nash Brambilla, but thought better of it. Here off turn number 4. Osbornaut splits out Bagley. He'll bring his teammate Evan Carlbon to the party with him. Jack Shack duo up on the outside wall. They're trying to get spots. They're going to go around Jambroni. They're going to try to get around over to Kyler Wynn. Jambroni will actually end up trying. Well, he tried to throw the block. Could not in that 13 machine. He'll get stuck in the middle right in front of Chris Carter and Matt Frady. On the outside now, Osbornaut, Carlbon, Melikar, Veliky, they'll get all the way to Kyler Wynn. They may get all the way to Mistretta. Mistretta going to come to the wall. It was too late. Mistretta gets stuck 4 wide. That was way, way, way too late. For the Budweiser Chevrolet, they're trying to stay off of each other. As Mistretta's middle of 4 wide, he'll hop in behind Carlbon. And Nash Brambilla, Brian Hennings, and Daniel Falkingham say thank you very much as they get free spots out of that. I saw what Chase was looking to do. He just did it about 2 seconds too late, trying to jump up in front of Trevor Osbornaut. And that sent all of those Jack Shack cars and Mistretta and Veliky and a couple others all the way to the back end. Falkingham jumps out from around Brambilla. He's on the push of Kyler Wynn. Jambroni's with them. On the inside, Brambilla, Hennings, Flanagan. Chris Carter comes through. He's now up into the top 5 for the first time. That purple, gray, and pink car on the outside lane. Pushing Jambroni now as the front 2 tandem away once again. This time it's Wynn on the back of Falkingham. Osbornaut another try. He's got Mistretta and Carlbon going with him again. They get to the outside of Frady. They may get to Chris Carter by the time they get to turn number 3. They've got a nice run. Jambroni jumps on the nose of Osbornaut. They'll try a 4-car group, but Jambroni trying to square up. He got the outside wall, and it slowed that momentum for that group up just a little bit. They'll try to get it back going here off turn number 4. Front 5 clear back to David Flanagan. Make it 6 back to Miles Bagley. Almost 7 back to Nathan Harper on the inside as Falkingham leads that train on the inside lane. Man, Osbornaut just cannot get squared up with Jambroni. They're trying to get it going, and it's just not working up there along the safer barrier right now. And they're going to have to try to figure it out. They just have yet to get a square push. Perhaps Chase Mistretta pushing through Osbornaut. Now Jambroni bails out, goes all the way to the bottom, and Mistretta will stay up behind Trevor Osbornaut. And Mistretta and Frady get into it a little bit there with 20 to go off turn number 2. Top 10 clear. Top 12 clear. Back to Jackson Bies, who now jumps to the outside, but all the way back to Jambroni is clear. As these guys work single file now, make it actually the top 9 back to Carter that are clear. Now it's Bies and Casey Sprinkle that run the middle lane with Osbornaut, Mistretta, Frady, Melikar, and one other in tow. Now Dustin Svek jumps up there. As the field works back around 19 laps to go, it will be 1 car going a lap down. I think it's Sean Corbett. And it will be Corbett. 3 cars have lost the draft, Vondell, Boyd, and Waring. Actually, 5 cars. John Ward and Danny Barnes have lost the draft now as well. Big run on the outside. Here comes Chris Carter. He's inside the top 5, pushed by Jackson Bies. Casey Sprinkle is with them. Nobody up here is going to jump out of line. And it's going to be basically a free run to the front for the guys in that middle lane as they try to get some track position. Up to 4th. How about 3rd? Yep, give it to him. How about 2nd on Kyler Wynn? Yep, give it to him. Falkingham blocks. Carter goes to the outside, and now they split. Bias goes in the middle with Falkingham. Sprinkle tries to get inside of Carter as he brought Osbornaut and Mistretta with him. Axel Smith goes to the middle as well. And now 3 wide for the lead. As soon as it was single file, it gets back to 3 wide. 18 laps to go, 13 complete. Brambilla trying to save it on the bumper of his teammate. Carter trying to save it on the bumper of Sprinkle. Oh, Brambilla's going to get turned. Nash Brambilla turned in front of the field. Miles Bagley, Justin Melikar, Kevin Tipton, Mike Davenport, Evan Karlbahn, Landon Felicki, Dustin Svek, and Matt Frady. And the big one strikes on lap 13. Oh, man, John Ward, Danny Barnes. Oh, no, Danny Barnes just hit Landon Felicki well after the incident, and that will likely mark the end of Velicki's day. He likely has some suspension damage now, if not from the initial crash, from that second hit from Danny Barnes. We'll take it back. We'll get another look as they went off into turn number 1. It was Nash Brambilla getting pushed by his teammate Brian Hennings. He had already made a save, and I think Hennings tried to let him back up. Oh, wow, it's actually way earlier than this. He's already out of shape. He gets it down to the apron, and then Hennings is going to try to let him back up. He's got some room in front of Flanagan. Brambilla's going to try to bring it back up on track. You see Chris Carter ahead as well, trying to make a save in front of Casey Sprinkle. And as Brambilla tries to get back up, Hennings hits him, and then Flanagan's hitting through Hennings, and there's just nothing Brian Hennings can do. He's trying to let his teammate hang on, and unfortunately, Brambilla's going to get turned. You see Miles Bagley and Dustin Svek trying to miss it. They get collected in the aftermath. There's Davenport. There's Tipton. Here comes Karlbahn. There's Svek getting involved. Felicki, Melikar. There's Karlbahn getting a piece on the inside. Oh, Jake Pitangoro misses it on the inside in the grass. Does he miss the second part, though, is my question. Looks like maybe he got by. And then watch now. You see Sean Corbett, he was smart. He got right on the brakes. He's going to get the lucky dog here. But watch as Danny Barnes and John Ward, I mean, they're still going well over 100 miles an hour when they get to the crash site. And I'm not sure if there was smoke, maybe lack of visibility. Or if Landon's maybe pulling off the track, maybe comes into the path. No, they're just going 100 miles an hour. And Barnes locks up the brakes and just clobbers the right rear of Velicki. It was such a hard hit, it actually got Velicki off the ground. Here come Vondell. I mean, they're not going very slow either out back with Vondell. They're just kind of lucky that these guys had kind of filtered off the racetrack. But even back around Michael Boyd and James Waring, those guys aren't really slowing down either. So, man, 5 cars here just... I'm not sure if the visibility was bad or what, but they are flying coming into this crash. We'll go back up to Nash Brambilla, show you how this one got started. Now, again, we'll show you the aftermath as well, because I mean, most of these guys were going to be okay. You see just kind of nowhere to go for a lot of these guys. There's Melikar, there's Svek. Boy, Pitangoro did a really good job of getting past that. And now watch as Danny Barnes and John Ward come into frame. Well, okay, Landon kind of drives up the banking, but still, he's sitting there and just gets clobbered by Danny Barnes. Take another couple looks at this. One more look, and then we'll go on board with Pitangoro as well in the 20. Try to find one more camera angle of it here. We'll go take it all the way back, kind of try to show you what Nash Brambilla was going... Well, it's really not going to show us, but we're going to show you going into turn 1. Right there, an offset push, and now Brambilla's going to come back up, try to get it saved, and it is on from here once he gets sideways. David Flanagan, Josh Tambroni barely missing this as well. And here come Danny Barnes and John Ward. See Landon going up the banking right there, but then still, you're going to see him get clobbered. There's Ward going past. Let's go on board with Jake Pitangoro. Might go on board with David Flanagan as well. We'll go first, though, with the driver of the 20, because he had a very interesting angle of this one. He was out back of it and somehow made it through. It's one of the new drivers, Jake Pitangoro, led laps in this race. Look at this avoidance. Oh, dirt tracking it just a little bit. See Karlbahn in front of him. Composure for one of the new drivers, Jake Pitangoro. Not panicking. Going to the apron, making the smart moves and getting around the wreck. No No problem at all, man. Calm, cool, collected for Pitengoro. Let's go on board with one more car. Let's make it David Flanagan here going into turn number 1. It's the driver for the 31 for the Jack Shack. Let's see what he saw in this one. Ooh. Boy, a sheet of paper maybe between the 31 and the 23. Flanagan able to get through it. And several cars on pit road. Actually, it might just be Nash Brambilla on pit road. Danny Barnes is on pit road, but is well behind the field. Kenny McCullough is multiple laps down. 9 laps down for Kenny McCullough. Not sure what happened there. Sean Corbett, I believe, is back on the lead lap, is on pit road getting service. Everybody else still on track. That includes Landon Velicki, who was involved in that one. After he got hit by a couple different cars, then got hit by Danny Barnes. He is back out on track in 27th. Up front, Kyler Wynn will control the start to be Daniel Falkingham to his right elbow. That's row number 1. Row 2, Chris Carter 3rd, Chase Mastretta in 4th. Trevor Osborne 5th, David Flanagan in 6th. Nathan Harper in 7th, Josh Jambroni in 8th. Casey Sprinkle Knight and Mike Davenport back in 10th position. So we'll get back under green just over halfway through. That should eliminate the green flag pit stop as well. We'll have to wait and see on whether or not we do get pit stops in this race. Wynn, Falkingham on the front row. Chris Carter inside row 2. Chase Mastretta outside row 2. You want to talk aggressive drivers, look at that outside row. Daniel Falkingham, Chase Mastretta, David Flanagan, and Josh Jambroni. See what kind of elbows these guys throw here. Green flag back in the air, and away we go. It's a nice push from Carter on the start, but then kind of gets his tires jacked up in the air. Trouble out back. Nash Brambilla got spun sideways. He goes for a slight spin through pit lane. It will not draw the caution, though, as he will continue on. Kind of splits the field up back there, but no harm, no foul. Evan Carbon should be able to catch the tail end of the draft as one of the last cars in that draft range. And up front, it is all Kyler Wynn and Daniel Falkingham. Down the back straightaway, headed for turn number 3. Wynn continues to lead over Falkingham and Mastretta on the inside. It's Carter on the push from Trevor Osborne and Nathan Harper. Flanagan down to side draft as Harper jumps out of line. Mastretta down to side draft, and now that bottom lane is all kinds of discombobulated. Ooh, one car on the wall. That was Jackson Byes. Davenport going to squeeze in the middle. 4 wide with Byes and Jambroni. Trouble. Around they go in the trial. It was Jake Pitengoro. They got sideways. He's backwards in the outside wall. Jambroni's got damage. John Ward has damage. Another couple cars spinning through pit lane. That was Jambroni. And Ward comes to a stop on the apron. And just as soon as we get back green, the caution flag waves again. This one got started back around Pitengoro. We had just harped on, and the right front wheel is off on the 20 machine. A tough break for Pitengoro. Considering who's in front of him, he may still get one of those free entries to the SummerSlam 499, but we'll hold off until later. In fact, it looks like he definitely will. It looks like there's only 3 new drivers that I can recognize so far in this race, but I'll have to wait and see on Pitengoro. This got started back around him and this mess with Jackson Byes and Josh Jambroni, as Byes tried to split Jambroni. Jambroni did not like it. He threw a bit of a block. Byes jumped out of the throttle, and then all of a sudden it just kind of stacked these guys up. Ooh, right there. Actually, Jambroni pretty much put him in the outside wall. Mike Davenport goes to the middle, and as he does, I think John Ward's going to maybe take the run here to that second lane. Ooh, no, he just gets driven through. Ward's getting driven through by James Waring. He gets in the back of Davenport. Davenport down into Pitengoro, and big hit right here for Jambroni. You see the left or right front wheel. You see airborne there is Pitengoro. Ward, Byes, Hennings, Davenport all involved. Here come the guys out back. Kevin Tipton, Katie McCullough through the grass, Justin Melikar, Mark Vondell. Looks like everybody does a pretty good job jumping on the brakes. So really, it's only going to be about 3 or 4 cars that incur major damage here. But the most tough break of all goes to Pitangora, who is running so well in this race for, again, a newer driver. And unfortunately going to be the victim of a wreck that was not his doing. You see Ward pushed by Waring into the back of Davenport. That gets them down in the 20. Nowhere for Jambroni or Bies to go here, or really John Ward, as they all come together. 5 cars in the outside wall. Hennings tries to get it slowed up. He's going to get in this one as well. 6 cars with damage. It might only be 3 with major damage. Those being Bies, Jambroni, and Pitangoro. And even then, I'm not sure how much damage the 33 has. So we'll have to check on that when we get back under the green flag. Oh, man, John Ward actually goes for an extra slide up there around the pace car at start-finish. So, tough break there. We'll take one more look. We'll go back live. As they enter the tri-oval. Big hits. Man, Jambroni almost got up and over and into the catch fencing. See, his wheel is off its axle. Same for Pitangoro, whose wheel at first was straight, and then it kind of comes off afterwards. Not sure what happened there, but for the 20 of Pitangoro, a tough break for a guy that had run really well tonight. We'll have to wait and see. Hopefully he does get one of the entries to the SummerSlam 499 and gets to race in a heat later this week. Going to be 10 laps to go when we go back under the green flag. And it's Kyler Wynn and Daniel Falkingham that continue to run 1-2. Chris Carter, Chase Mistretta, Trevor Osbernoth are the top 5. Rest of the top 10, David Flanagan, Casey Sprinkle, Nathan Harper, Josh Sutherland, and Axel Smith. So going to be, again, it will be 10 laps to go. We'll give you an update on some of the damaged cars towards the back. Jackson Bies is back out on track. So is Brian Hennings. So is Nash Brambilla. Landon Velicki is getting a little more damage repaired. He'll come back around. He'll still be on track. Same with Dustin Sveck and Miles Bagley. The car's laps down. Jake Pitangoro is still on pit road, but he is multiple laps down. So too is Josh Jambroni. John Ward calls it a night on lap 18, so the damage must have been worse for John Ward than we had anticipated. Mike Davenport is laps down in 28th position after that last incident. Danny Barnes, 29th. Kenny McCullough in 30th are multiple laps down as well to make up the 30-car field. So 24 still on the lead lap and in contention for either a top 5 payout or 3 free entries into the SummerSlam 499. So we will try this again. Again, will be 10 laps to go, a sprint to the end of this one. We do get an update in the chat from WLDC that Bies is all good to go. So we wondered about the damage on Jackson Bies' car. It actually is it's almost flip-flop for him and John Ward. I figured the damage would be worse on Bies and decent on Ward. Turns out Ward's damage was a fatal blow. Jackson Bies appears to have gotten away pretty well scot-free from that one in the 33. So appreciate the update on Jackson Bies' car. As he will try to get himself back up here into position for this one. The team dynamic's interesting. Kyler Wynn, Daniel Falkingham are not on a team together, but have been working well in this race. We obviously have the 2 Jack Shack cars, 5th and 6th. Where does Chase Mistretta, the wild card, kind of go in all of this? Chris Carter as well. Yeah, Casey Sprinkle from McCullough Motorsports back there. Got Nathan Harper, a teammate to Daniel Falkingham, is up here at the front. Axel Smith had Miles Bagley. He's back towards the tail of the field, so we'll see if those two get together. So some team dynamics here at the front. How do they play out? Green flag going to go back in the air, and they're both lines pushing hard here at the start-finish line. Kyler Wynn got the better opening push in the restart zone. Better push on the line is going to be Chase Mistretta to Daniel Falkingham on the outside. He's got David Flanagan in behind him. Nathan Harper goes 4th in line, and Casey Sprinkle jumps out. He's 5th. Axel Smith jumps out, and all of a sudden the inside is abandoned on the exit of turn number 2. How about Michael Boyd in 13th, and that Goodwrench Chevrolet back there behind Kevin Tipton. Out to the outside. Here comes Sprinkle and Axel Smith. They believe Harper in the middle. Matt Frady going to go all the way to the wall. Harper going to go back to the inside, right behind the Josh Sutherland machine. Up front, Falkingham leads off turn number 4. It's Chase Mistretta now lined up with Flanagan. got a chance to go to the outside. They're not going to. They're going to continue to run that middle lane. Starting to look outside is Flanagan. Mastretta wants to take it. It wasn't quick enough. Falkingham throws the block, maybe just signaling, hey, let's go to the outside wall. Kyler Wynn and Chris Carter all of a sudden by their lonesome on the inside, the only two cars, and they are tandem, and they're coming back to the front. Falkingham continues to lead the way on the push from Mastretta. Inside lines trying to do everything they can, but man, no help. Every other car back to about 15th position is on the outside wall. Now some drop down. Here comes Nathan Harper. Here comes Jackson Bies. Justin Metlikar out back. Brian Hennings, Nash from Villa. Through the middle goes Harper. Oh, trouble car on the outside wall. Sean Corbett got it pretty good. He's going to stay out of the pack, so hopefully there no caution going to be thrown as Corbett got the outside wall. One other car got it as well. I think it was Matt Frady in the 40 machine. He's got damage also. We'll see how that affects him. Up front, still Falkingham, Mastretta, Flanagan, Sprinkle, and Axel Smith. And then it's Josh Sutherland, and he's kind of a wild card now. He'll go try to get all the way to the bottom on the push of Harper. Here comes Flanagan on the inside. Falkingham throws the block all the way to the yellow line. Mastretta leads the outside with Osborne now. Metlikar, Hennings in tow. Big move by Sprinkle. He's going to get split by Mastretta. Where does Osborne go? To the outside wall. Chase Mastretta left in the middle, and nobody home to help him. Falkingham, Flanagan up front. All of a sudden, it's Casey Sprinkle in that 59 that goes third, almost trying to crash on the front of the field here on the outside, but they somehow make it work. Sprinkle down to block. Osborne may try to do the 1-2 here, go around the outside of Sprinkle. Had to lift for him, though. Not going to be able to get there. In the middle, Kyler Wynn, Jackson Bies, Chris Carter, Chase Mastretta. Matt Frady's going to come to pit road. He's got unfixable damage. Out back, some cars are behind the field now out of the draft. They include Vondell, Waring, Tipton, Velicky, Bagley, and Boyd, along with Frady, Corbett, Svek, and others that are outside this draft. That leaves just 14 cars, making 15 with Josh Sutherland to contest for 5 payouts in those 3 spots. Falkingham up front, still pushed by David Flanagan. In the middle now, here comes another run. This time, it's Kyler Wynn, it's Evan Karlbahn, the Heat 2 winner, and the 25 of Harper, or excuse me, the 25 of Carter. Then it's Mastretta. Now Bias goes to the middle, and all of a sudden, those guys are leading the bottom and have a big run. Here comes Kyler Wynn in that white and red 84. We get all the way to the door of Flanagan. He'll get all the way to the door of Falkingham, and they'll be competing for the lead off turn number 4. Out back, Brian Hennings went to the middle with Justin Metlikar. Chase Mastretta. Nash Rambilli gets hung out at the line. 6 laps to go. Wynn, Falkingham continue to duel as they've done all night long. Out back, Mastretta and Harper go to the outside of Hennings. That's for a spot just outside the top 7. As Mastretta's not out of this thing yet either in that 18. Mastretta goes another spot. He's going to get Carter. He's going to be right on the back of Metlikar now. Mastretta gets in the back of the 58, trying to get back on the nose of Harper. Can't do it. Maybe he can. Sprinkle down to the inside. Big move by Casey Sprinkle. He gets to the inside of Flanagan. That's for second. Falkingham's going to have to bail on this top lane, and I think Block Sprinkle won't be able to. Made the decision too late. Casey Sprinkle to the lead at Talladega off turn number 4 on the push of Kyler Wynn. Now watch out, Kyler's probably going to take the right rear here, Sprinkle, when he gets the opportunity. For now, he is loyal through the trial. Here comes Falkingham back to him, though. Kyler Wynn, when's he going to make this move? That run not quite as fast as I anticipated that it was. And now Kyler Wynn's going to stay on the bottom with Sprinkle here. Karlbahn third on the inside. There goes Wynn. Here comes Falkingham, and Sprinkle now to the push of Evan Karlbahn on the bottom side as they'll try to get lined up. Karlbahn goes around him. Carter goes with him, and Sprinkle's going backwards. Karlbahn wants a little bit more than just a heat win. He wants a feature win. The Mark Chevy now leads the inside lane. Through turns 3, here comes Flanagan. He's down to the middle as Harper shoots the gap between Mastretta and Carter. It's going to side draft Karlbahn off of those cars. It's going to allow Wynn and Falkingham to get all the way to the front. Flanagan has to come back up. He goes to the middle to Harper and Bies. Harper almost gets turned. He's underneath Flanagan as Mastretta's through all of that chaos. 4 laps to go at the line. Scrambling like crazy up front. Flanagan, Mastretta, back to 3rd and 4th. Axel Smith is 5th. Trevor Osmernot's in this as well. The inside trying to regroup and reload. Now it's Harper, Bies, and Karlbahn, along with Josh Sutherland. Carter's going to bail, but that inside's got a little bit of movement here. Down the Alabama Gang super stretch as Nathan Harper works his way forward with Jackson Bies in tow. Harper will get to 5th. He'll try to get to 4th here on Mastretta as they rise the banking at turn 3. Will not get all the way past Mastretta, or will he? He will. He'll notice ahead of the 18. He'll get to the door potentially of Flanagan. Those top 3 are locked together here up front. Falkingham, one of the best in the business at pushing, and that bottom line starts to evaporate when they get back Just under 8 miles to go at Talladega. 3 laps to go in this heat racing event. Kyler Wynn out front with Daniel Falkingham on his back bumper. Flanagan and Mistretta need to start to plan their run, but Harper's yet to get close enough, and when he does, he gets such a run, they can't both move down at the same time. Falkingham off. That's going to allow that bottom to come back into frame. Buys bails on Harper, and all of a sudden, Buys jumps to the outside. Now it's Carl Bond that will split again. This time he goes to the middle. He's got Josh Sutherland with him. They're going to try to get back to where he can maybe pick up his teammates. Trevor Ostronaut's the first one here in the 89 that I'd expect to drop down for the Jack Shack. Flanagan would be the next. Up here at the front in third. Ostronaut chooses to stay where he is at, though. Staying put, the 89, when they get back, just over 5 miles to go. It'll be popsicle sticks from Barney the Flagman, 2 laps to go. And if they make it around 2.66 more, the white flag will fly, and this race will be official. 13 cars to settle it for 5 payout spots. Kyler Wynn leads. Daniel Falkingham in second. David Flanagan in third. Here comes Evan Karlbahn. With a push from Josh Sutherland on the inside. They've gotten all the way to Mistretta. That's as far as they will get. No side draft. Sutherland trying to stay locked on. Karlbahn trying to hold that wheel as pretty as he possibly can. When do Flanagan and Mistretta and Buys decide to make a move? It's going to have to be, you would think, into turn 3 on the final lap. They may have to do it sooner than that. That inside lingers. Off turn 4, when they get back, they'll see the white flag. Harper jumps down to the bottom behind Chris Carter. Oh, Carter thinking about going to the middle. That's going to break up that bottom lane if he does decide to do that. Karlbahn into the middle. Here come Jackson Buys and Axel Smith. White flag is up. 1 lap to go at Talladega. Jackson Buys to the inside. He leads the bottom lane. Flanagan, no chance to come down. They're going to have to block it on that outside if you're Falkingham or Kyler Wynn. They don't. Look at Osbornoth out back. He's going to have his teammate on his bumper. Wynn throws the block. He gets to Jackson Buys. Back to the top side comes Wynn. He gets another block. Look, watch out for those Jack Shack cars. Here comes Carter to the middle. Jack Shack's trying to line up. 3 deep on that outside lane. Where will they go? David Flanagan, they're going to have to take it here into 3, you would think. They're starting to try to back up. Carter to the inside of Mistretta. 4 wide for a moment. They get through it. Flanagan, you're going to have to look. You've got to go if you're going to try for it. Off turn number 4 for the final time. Coming back to the checkered flag. Flanagan, Osbornoth, when do you make the move? Here it is. To the bottom. Back to the top. Falkingham through to the lead. Flanagan turns him. Kyler went to the wall to block. David Flanagan steals one at Talladega. And hold that thought, because there was a crash coming to the checkered flag, so hold everything. As of now, unofficial top 3, Flanagan, Wynn, Osbornoth, but David Flanagan was involved in an incident in the trial, so for now, it is a wild run to the finish, and it's David Flanagan that captures a victory tonight at Talladega and a 1-3 finish for the Jack Shack. Again, we will hold for a moment and await a race control decision. For the moment, it's David Flanagan that wins a wild one from Talladega. We will give him the opportunity to celebrate here at the start-finish line. We'll get a dual burnout. We might get a multi-car burnout here for the Jack Shack as David Flanagan captures a big win. And a great night for Jack Shack Racing as they defeat Kyler Wynn on the last lap. You heard one car blow up. Might have been Flanagan, might have been Osbornoth. Couldn't really tell. Must have been Flanagan because Trevor Osbornoth's back to it on the front stretch also. So, do have an update. We're going to take you back. We're going to take a look at the replay before we get to the results and the interviews. Let's watch how this race came to an end tonight at the Talladega Super Speedway, because we do have an update on a race control decision. It is not going to be David Flanagan that is called for this last lap incident. It is an end-of-line penalty to the 84 of Kyler Wynn for causing this incident in the tri-oval. And I'm assuming it's that right there that is going to be called. He knocked Falkingham under the yellow, and actually, yeah, Falkingham's out of shape before Flanagan ever gets in the back of him. So Kyler Wynn going to receive an end-of-line penalty as a result of his actions there in the trial on Daniel Falkingham. As a result, the new top three: David Flanagan, Trevor Osborne, and Chase Mistretta. Big night for the Jack Shack. That means a 1-2 finish for the Jack Shack. An incredible night for that team as they capture an incredible finish tonight at Talladega Superspeedway. We'll take you through your finishing results. From there, we'll get top three interviews. We've got all three of them already, so we'll try to hustle through these. It's David Flanagan that captures a victory in the final scheduled recruitment race for the SummerSlam 499. He'll go first. Kyler Wynn unofficially was second. He has been EOL'd, so by all intents and purposes, he is going to finish at the tail end of the lead lap. As such, Trevor Osborne now finishes second, Chase Mistretta third, Chris Carter fourth, and Nathan Harper back in fifth. Casey Sprinkles sixth, Brian Henning seventh, Jackson Bias eighth, Evan Carlbon ninth, and Axel Smith in 10th. Josh Sutherland finishes 11th tonight, Daniel Falkingham in 12th, Mark Vondell 13th, James Waring 14th, and Kevin Tipton 15th. Nash Rabilla 16th, Justin Melikar in 17th, Michael Boyd 18th, Landon Velicki 19th, Miles Bagley in 20th. Kyler Wynn will slide in 21st, the last car on the lead lap. Matt Frady goes 22nd, Sean Corbett 23rd, Dustin Svek 24th, Kenny McCullough in 25th, Mike Davenport 26th, John Ward 27th, Josh Jambroni 28th, Danny Barnes 29th, and Jake Pittengore, the last car to run a lap in this feature, in 30th. Well, these guys were quicker than me tonight, as per the usual. They're all already in the broadcast waiting room, so we will jump right into post-race interviews, no break tonight. And I am being corrected. I did not know if this move was completely official yet, but I am being corrected in the chat. It is a 1-2-3 finish for the Jack Shack. I know our overlays say Nightmare Esports. That's partly the driver of the 18's fault for not changing his own information in the driver information app. Had to jab him just a little bit, but it is a 1-2-3 for the Jack Shack tonight, including Chase Mistretta, so even better. My goodness, what a statement that these guys just made in this one. Let's start with the first of them. We'll make sure the audio is all set so that you all can hear what they have got to say about their efforts tonight. Let's start with the first of the three. It's the third place finisher tonight, Chase Mistretta in the 18. Chase, it's Dawson in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, boy, a chaotic race. We saw you up front quite a bit, but having to rebound quite a bit too. A bit of a roller coaster. Nothing to be unexpected from this Gen-6 car. You corrected me in the chat. I didn't know if it was official. It's a 1-2-3 for the Jack Shack. First off, just take me through how that feels. You guys ran well as a team. You got there when it mattered. At the end of the day, you guys come across with that EOL to Kyler Wynn. You come across 1-2-3. How does that feel for you guys?
We'll take the extra cash spot any day. The 1-2-3 is really nice, especially coming into the slam coming up. So it gives us all really good confidence. Hopefully it translates into the slam. This car really is starting to feel good for me right now. I felt like I couldn't do, there was nothing I couldn't do that race. Like you said, I got sent to the back a couple times, and it felt like within a lap I was back. It was fun tonight. I really enjoyed this.
And look, these races have put on really incredible racing the past couple of weeks, and perhaps one more tomorrow. This was the last official scheduled one, and now we look forward. We turn our focus to this weekend. We know how much you like the Gen-6. We know how much it fits your style. What's the mindset? What's the confidence level for you heading into PGR's second biggest weekend of the year?
Qualify good, hopefully. So at least I'll be up front in the heat. I think if I can start up front in the heat, have some friends, like some better people around us, we can stay up there and just transfer. I mean, that's the whole plan. Get through, get to the main event this time, and be able to run the full race. Be there at the end. Have a chance to win it. $2,000.
We obviously look forward to that. Tonight, though, a third-place finish for you as a part of this full podium sweep for the Jack Shack. So before we let you go and enjoy it with your teammates, is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out?
Shout out Flanagan. He gave me everything he had in that heat race to try to get me over Kyler. If that was the slam and Kyler beat me by 1,000th, I would be really pissed. But thank God, it's just the practice. Shout out to Jack Shack, Trevor. I almost killed Trevor like 3 times tonight. Thank God I didn't. Landon, as always. Just all the boys over at the Jack Shack. You putting on this broadcast, Mike, everybody. Baker, even though he's not here.
Well, appreciate you talking to me for a second. Congratulations on the 3rd place finish tonight. Go enjoy it. Go celebrate. We will talk to you, if not tomorrow, this weekend in the SummerSlam 499.
Yes, sir.
Chase Mistretta, driver of the 18, our 3rd place finisher tonight. Let's move to his teammate, Trevor Osbornoth. One of the founders of the Jack Shack comes home 2nd tonight behind his teammate David Flanagan. The Jack Shack will continue with the full Jack Shack interview segment here tonight. We'll continue with the 2nd place finisher. It's the 89 of Trevor Osbornoth. Trev, it's Dawson in the booth. You got a copy?
Oh, brother, you know I hear you. What's going on, man?
Well, look, we can hear it in your voice there. It's a really good night, especially after the call in the final lap. It's a 1-2-3 finish for the Jack Shack tonight. I talked to Chase about how it felt for him. Want to ask about you as well. Again, one of the founding members of the team. To see these guys run well really all night, and that includes, by the way, guys that did not finish in the cash spots tonight as well, including Landon Veliky and Evan Carlbon. Really felt like you guys ran well as a unit throughout tonight's racing. Going into this weekend, what kind of confidence boost does that give you guys as a team that you can go and run well in the SummerSlam 499?
Hey, man, this is what we live for. That's not what we live for, but this is what we do. We come out here and we try to win. And everybody that's on JSR, the Jack Shack, is trying to win at every point given time. Hell, Evan was up there for a while, leading and swinging with the best of them. Landon got taken out a little bit early, but just as that, he probably would have been right up there with us too. And it just so happened to work out. We had 3 in line, and we took it and we walked with it. I mean, that sucks. I hate it for fault, but I mean, you can't just be dooring people off the track like that and expect, to finish good. I mean, it's a little bit fortunate that it came our way like that to get a 1-2-3. But hey, I'll take it, man. Like they say, it don't matter how you win. Winning's winning. If it's by an inch or by a mile, baby.
Well, obviously, now we start to look forward to this weekend. I asked Chase about his confidence level. I'll kind of ask you the same question. We saw you guys run well as a team. There is no guarantee that the Jack Shack cars will be in the same heat. They may be spread across 5 or 6 different heat races across the weekend. How do you navigate that as a driver, first of all? But second of all, what is your confidence level that we could see you in victory lane on Sunday afternoon with a championship belt in hand?
As a team, we know going into this thing, not everybody's going to make it. And if we do, that's a win on our end. But as everybody else knows, every team that races this stuff, not everybody's going to make it. And just so happens that I'm 0-2 right now. I didn't make the last one, the last 499, and I didn't make the 500. But I feel like this one, man, this one's calling my name. I was a little hesitant about this car, but we picked up a few things. We learned a few things. And I think one of us is going to get it. I really do. I have a good feeling. I think one of us is going to get it, and it's going to bring it home to the Jack Shack, baby, because it's about time. It's about time we started putting the stamp down. We had a couple embarrassing moments throughout the months and years, and I think finally that race just felt, I don't know, man, I'm mumbling. This race just felt right. And if I think the feeling is right, we're going to go ahead and get it right, because I don't know, man. It's a new wave. It's not a new style of drafting, but it's definitely keen from last year when we ran the Xfinity cars to this completely different style. It's all about timing, momentum, where you're at, and who's going to take the run. And I think the Jack Shack is locked, baby, and it's rocking. So I don't know. It felt good, man. It felt real nice. I can't even explain it. It felt nice to run good, to be up front, to swang a little bit, man. We took every single possible run we possibly could. And each and every one of these guys on the Shack is damn near good enough, for sure good enough to make it in the 499. So I'm hoping to see the entire team in there, man. And if it's not, it is what it is. But look out for good things for the Shack this weekend, maybe. Momentum's on our side. We won a lot of these recruitment races. So, hey, I'll take it, and we're going to see what happens this weekend.
Well, certainly looks like everybody's pulling the right direction. Now we'll see what the heat draws look like, and obviously how the weekend goes for you guys over at the Jack Shack. Tonight, though, second place finish for you by virtue of that last lap penalty. We'll move you to the second step of the podium. So before we let you go and go enjoy it with your teammates, is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out?
Oh, brother, man, you already know. We gotta thank PGR for giving us something to do on a Monday night. That's not a light series race. Is it Monday? Yeah, it is Monday. I don't even know what day it is, but yeah, I got to thank y'all for giving us something to do in preparation for the 499 this weekend. Heat races start during the week, and get signed up if you haven't already. It's going to be a hell of a show. You could have a 100 high rating or 10,000 high rating. Come show up, come race, try your hand at a chance of $1,700, baby. That's good money. And got to thank the Shack, baby. You know, the Shack's always rocking. Sometimes we get into some shit, and sometimes we get it going. So got to thank all of them. David P1, baby. Chase P3, me P2. Evan got a 10th out of it. I think Lana got a little damage towards the end. But like I said, as a unison group, if you get us up front, we're going to make something happen, especially if it's coming to that checker flag because we all want to win. I got to thank you, brother. Of course, the old microphone boy, Big. Hear it up in the booth tonight, getting the reps in for this weekend. Can't wait to hear your voice on that thing, man. That smooth, nice, delicious voice you got there. And hey, man, can't wait to see you for the heats. I don't know which heat you're broadcasting, and if we make it into the duels, and if we make it into the final, the feature, we'll be seeing you there too, man. Appreciate you, brother.
Well, the answer to that is all of them, Trev, as of right now. But no, regardless, I have my work cut out for me this weekend. But absolutely, we will see you guys back here this weekend. I know a lot of you guys are signed up already tonight. A really good effort on the way into that race. A second place to potentially walk off into the SummerSlam 499. Congrats on the second place finish, Trev. Go enjoy it. Go celebrate. We'll talk to you this weekend in virtual Talladega for the SummerSlam 499.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Trevor Osborne second tonight in this one. We'll talk now to his other teammate, the winner, David Flanagan, in the 36 machine to round out a Jack Shack podium sweep. We'll talk to him about how he's feeling, not only about tonight, but about this weekend as well. For the SummerSlam 499, it's David Flanagan in PGR Victory Lane for the recruitment race. David, it's Dawson, the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, a chaotic one at Talladega. These recruitment races do not disappoint, and tonight certainly one of the better ones that we've had. And in the end, when the smoke clears, that final call is made as well. It's a 1-2-3 finish for the boys over at the Jack Shack. Before we get into this weekend, want to talk about that ending scramble. Take us through it from your perspective. Contact between Kyler Wynn and Daniel Falkingham, between you and Daniel Falkingham. Big scramble to the end. Take me through it from your perspective, coming off the turn number 4 from third.
Yeah, so I had two teammates behind me, Trev and Chase, and I made the call to go down, and Folk guessed it perfectly, and I was just going to push him clear until I got clear of Kyler and then try to make a move, and I guess Kyler had a different plan. I don't know if he misjudged it or what, but, I mean, Folk certainly got the bad end of the stick there, and it ended up going around across my nose, and luckily he kept it straight, and Chase was right there and scooted me across the line, finishing first.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And now, obviously, a win for you headed into SummerSlam weekend. It's got to feel good for the momentum. I'll first ask about you before we get to kind of the team finish tonight, how the team ran in this race. We'll start with you, though. This weekend, the SummerSlam 499, you ran well in the recruitment races. You win the last scheduled one. What is the mindset? What is the confidence level for you headed into this big weekend for PGR?
Yeah, man, I mean, I went 5 for 5 and made every feature in these recruitment races. I think I had a second place finish, like a fourth place finish, and a first place finish. So, I'm feeling pretty confident. I love the GEN-6, my favorite car, and, we're just going to go out there and, just put on a performance,
We're looking forward to this weekend. Talking now about the team, it's a 1-2-3 for the Jack Shack, and even the guys we heard Trevor talking about it just a little bit, Landon Velicki, Evan Carlbon, that were in this feature, did not quite have the luck that you three did at the end, but still ran well. It felt like you guys ran as a unit throughout the night, heat races into the feature race, and it felt to me like something was starting to go right for the boys at the Jack Shack headed into this weekend. Kind of take me through the team confidence level, take me through the team vibes going into this weekend, and how confident are you that the Jack Shack as a whole can hold their own and potentially send one of their drivers to victory lane with that $1,700 prize and the championship belt?
Yeah, man. I mean, we're constantly always in the lab, whether it's, in these cars or in different cars or, just racing in general. So we're always together, and, I think that builds a lot of confidence in each other and just how we race around each other. And obviously we proved that in these recruitment races. And, there's no skibbity going around in here in the shop. We're getting after it, and we're going to win. So just be mindful. If we put like 4 in the top 10, I wouldn't be surprised, along with the winner.
Well, looking forward to this weekend. A great way to end off the recruitment race portion. The road to the SummerSlam ends on a great note for the Jack Shack and on a really good note for you personally with the victory tonight. You're in victory lane. You got an opportunity here. Anybody you'd like to give a shout out or a thank you to on the way out?
Yeah, of course, the Jack Shack Chase. Thank you for that last push. Appreciate it. Trev, of course, Joe, Chris. I know Big Roos was watching. Thank y'all. And Chrome Racing. Yeah, thanks for the broadcast, Dawson. And my friend Brady. Keep up the skibbity, brother.
Well, congrats on the win tonight. Walking off into the SummerSlam 499, the final recruitment race winner. Congrats on the effort tonight and for the team effort for the Jack Shack. Go enjoy it. Go celebrate. We will talk to all of you guys this weekend for the SummerSlam 499.
Yep, thanks, Dawson. Have a good night, man.
David Flanagan, the winner in PGR Victory Lane, the final scheduled recruitment race for the SummerSlam 499 goes the way of the driver of the 31 for the Jack Shack. Well, we've reached the end of the road to the SummerSlam 499. Now, I will say on our way out the door tonight, there is a possibility that tomorrow night there will be one more recruitment race. If it is possible, we will broadcast that race for you here on PGR eSports as we complete the road to PGR's biggest weekend of the summer, the SummerSlam 499, the third annual running of the summer's marquee sim race coming up this weekend. If there is not one, our next bit of broadcasting here on PGR is going to be the Challenger Cup Series tomorrow night. I'll be in virtual Indianapolis as I make a quick trip off of the road to SummerSlam 499 weekend as I finish up my league duties for the week as we run 104 laps in Indy tomorrow night. Would be so happy to have you out there tomorrow night, 8:35 p.m. Eastern, right here on PGR eSports. It's the Challenger Cup Series in Indianapolis. Those guys would really be stoked if we could have a nice audience tomorrow night. Come out and watch as those guys take on the Brickyard, which is the last appetizer for this weekend. I'll give you the information one more time. Thursday night, this Thursday night, July 31st, gets the event started at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Will be heat number 1 of the third annual PGR SummerSlam 499 event. We'll run 3 heats on Thursday. They will be as follows. Heat 1 at 8 p.m. Eastern, Heat 2 at 9 p.m. Eastern, and Heat 3 at 10 p.m. Eastern. That will do it for Thursday. On Friday, Heat number 4 at 8 p.m. Eastern, Heat number 5 at 9 p.m. Eastern, Heat number 6 at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. On Saturday, it gets a little bit funky. At 1 p.m. Eastern in the afternoon, it will be Heat number 7, and we Heat number 8 right after it at 2 p.m. Eastern, and a bit of a break. Then we'll go into dual race number 1 at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, and then 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time will be dual number 2. Those 10 races will set the 42-car field for Sunday afternoon's running of the SummerSlam 499, which will go green at 1 p.m. It will be live around 12:30 for PGR Countdown to Green to the summer's marquee sim racing event. Hope to have you with us all weekend long. I'll be on the microphone for much of the weekend with all of my broadcast partners coming along the way, filling in here and there, and giving you what should be an incredible show. If you liked what you saw tonight, this car track combination, the GEN-6 car at Talladega, will be the car and track for the SummerSlam 499 this weekend. If you've liked what you've seen the past 5 weeks, I promise you have not seen anything yet. Come out this weekend. It will be an incredible weekend of racing, and surely Sunday we will remember for a very long time as one of the best races in PGR history. We can't wait. We hope you can't wait either. We hope you'll be along with us for the ride. If you want to sign up for the PGR SummerSlam 499, there are still spots available. Head over to PGResports.com. The form is on the landing page. You can sign up there, put in your information, get the payment in, and put your name on the list to run with some of the best in the business for a chance at $1,750 and a championship belt, and the prestige of knowing you are one of only 4 to ever win a PGR Crown Jewel event. The road to the SummerSlam is complete. All that's left now is to wait. We are under 72 hours away from the start of one of the biggest weekends in PGR eSports history. We hope you will join us for that weekend, whether on track or off of it here in the broadcast booth. Cannot wait to be back on the microphone with you later on this weekend. It's going to be an incredible event. I know we've all on management been really looking forward to this event, from Mike Davenport, who's on part of the leadership, to, of course, series owner Michael Triscaro, to Matthew Baker, who unfortunately has not been able to be with us as much as he has wanted to overseas, protecting our country. Obviously, we thank him for his service, but I know he'll be watching from afar and keeping tabs on this. It's been a lot of planning from a lot of people that has gone into this throughout the course of the last 6 months, getting ready for this event since February, as well as on the broadcasting side, myself, Austin, Landon, as well as, of course, series owner Michael Triscaro has put in so much work. It's time for it to pay off. All the preparation, the anticipation, the waiting comes to an end on Thursday night. We will finally be on track for the SummerSlam 499. Can't wait for it. Hope you'll join us for it. Thursday night, we'll be back for that. Tomorrow night, we'll be back for Challenger Cup Series action here on the PGR eSports Network. Cannot wait for you to join me tomorrow night from Indianapolis. If not, we'll see you Thursday night here back at Talladega for Heat Race number 1. It's SummerSlam 499 time, folks. Cannot wait for it. Great race tonight. David Flanagan is in PGR Victory Lane. It's a 1-2-3 for the Jack Shack as they walk off into the SummerSlam weekend. Join me tomorrow night for Challenger Cup Series racing. If not, we'll see you this weekend for the Summer's Marquee Sim Race. Until then, thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for joining.